idea of who I wanted to be, but I didn't have the drive yet. And so after reading the Ronda Rousey book, she was my main inspiration to move on and continue to be a successful person, seeing her example. And one of the things that stuck with me was Anne Maria de Mars's quote that she and Ronda Rousey like to relate so much nowadays in several of her interviews. And one of them is, or the main quote that I'm talking about is the fact that she aspires to be the best that you can be on your worst day. And that is a great philosophy and a great quote to live by, because it makes you successful. And who doesn't want to be successful in life in general, personal and professional aspect of your life? And so she was able to apply it in also different aspects of her life. And so she became an overachiever because of that. And that's why I think that she was able to become one of the most successful women nowadays. And so she did several things, including being the best on her worst day, to become a champion, the champion that she is today. So she initially, in the process, she had to accept herself. And I take that very close to heart, because I've had opportunities when trying to accept myself as well. And this is something that I've wanted to achieve and overcome the fact that there are flaws, but at the same time there are flaws. You have to accept the transitions that you couldn't go about in life. And one of the things that she had to accept was the fact that she wanted to have a good balance between being a great judoka, which she is, and also being a good student. Growing up, she had struggled, but she was very perseverant when it comes to achieving a degree in high school, and she was able to graduate, whether it was homeschooling and doing tests and taking the GED, or continuing on to entertain the idea of going to college later on in life. So she was able to accept herself and understand where her limitations and her achievements and abilities lie. So that was a great part of that she was able to balance and apply and accept. And she was also able to listen to others and follow her own path in her professional aspect as well. She had several trainers growing up, and she went all around the U.S. Searching for her best trainer when it came to judo and other aspects and of her fighting. Also, she was able to accept the fact that she was a tool for change. If you want to become somebody, you are the tool to become that person. So she was able to accept that as well. And overcoming obstacles she was the main key, and she was able to understand that once she was able to accept it. If the tool became dull, she was able to hone it in a way that it worked for her. And still today, in her professional and personal life, she is able to continue on applying that as well. And she, by overcoming her opportunities and accepting herself, she was able to also become interested in other opportunities, which include traveling. And this is also something that I take to heart. And I've also applied myself, traveling outside the U.S. and becoming more exposed to different experiences that you may not be comfortable with, but she was able to trust herself into doing these things. And so that's how she was able to train enough and become an expert at what she does, and eventually go to the Olympics. Not only once, but she was able to go twice, and she was able to acquire different experiences by going to different places like Brazil and anywhere else outside the U.S. She was everywhere she was traveling, and that was able to, she was able to accept the fact that this is what she had.